This is Praise Moment. I'm Sister Bev. I want us to go to probably the most famous psalm that there is. Now, if I was going to tell you the most famous psalm that there is, what psalm would you say? What psalm do you think is David's most famous psalm of all? Well, we're going to go to Psalm 23. And looking at Psalm 23, verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Yes, probably David's most famous psalm, but also other writers in the Bible. Of course, there are many who refer to the Lord as shepherd. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 11 also tells us that Messiah would tend his flock like a shepherd. He will take care of us. He will watch over us. He will see to us just like a shepherd would. So when you think of David, just think of David in the Bible, the psalmist David. What do you think of? What was he in his life? What roles did he play in his life? He was a shepherd all of his growing up years, right? But he was also a warrior. Not only was he serving in Saul's forces, going out to fight the enemy, but he was a warrior all of his life. He fought great battles. And he was Israel's most famous king. He was, if you go to Israel today, you will find the King David Hotel, King David Street, King David Shops, King David Souvenirs, King David everything. He was Israel's most famous king, to the point some people don't even remember Saul. They don't even remember Solomon that much, but they remember King David. He was very famous. So, shepherd, warrior, king. For David, it was a very easy step to recall his own shepherding skills. As a shepherd, growing up, he was willing to lay down his life for the sheep. Remember, with his bare hands, he fought the lion and the bear, and he prevailed, by the way, and saved his sheep. He would be sleeping with his sheep at night. He would be feeding them. He would be leading them. He would be tending to their fur, making sure that there are no thorns that would irritate them. And so he sees himself as a sheep for the Lord. And he understood the depth of the care that the Lord had for him, because he understood, if the Lord is my shepherd, then these are all the things that he does for me. He's with me. He tends to me. He takes the thorns out of my fur so that there are no irritations coming at me all the time. And it tells me that David, he didn't just memorize a few verses while he was growing up. He really had a relationship with the Lord, and it's beautiful to see his understanding. But elsewhere in the Psalms, David sang of the Lord as a warrior. He knew the Lord was a warrior. Exodus 15, verse 3 in the NIV, the Lord is a warrior. So David knew that the Lord was a warrior, but he wrote about it, he lived it, he believed it. In the very next psalm to Psalm 23, Psalm 24, verse 8, who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. In the New Testament, the disciples asked, who is this? When they were talking about Jesus after he stilled the storm, who is this? Who even calms the winds and the waves? Who is this? Well, David saw the Lord as shepherd. He saw the Lord as warrior. But David was also a king, as we said, and he wrote of the Lord as his king. Just in the Psalms alone, he talked about the Lord being enthroned forever, enthroned on our praises, enthroned among his people, enthroned above the cherubim, enthroned from of old, enthroned in the heavens, shepherd, warrior, king. And he sang and he praised God for being each of these to him. So, what are you in this life? What are you? What roles do you play in this life? Are you a teacher? Are you a doctor? Are you a businessman? Ask yourself, who is this to me? He is your teacher. He is your great physician. He is your senior partner. You need to make your walk with God personal and understand with depth of understanding that He wants to walk with you in every phase of your life and in every day of your life. The Lord is my shepherd. Amen.